This is John Beath with GoFishMagazine.com. I'm at Angler's Choice in San Diego with the owner of the store, Luke, here, and I'm going out on a 7-day searcher trip in the morning, so I need to really get some expert advice. So Luke, on a 7-day trip, what do you recommend I take?
You're definitely going to be targeting Wahoo, so you're going to need some trolling Wahoo gear. We have a couple Marauder type lures. This one's a Usuri Bonita and this one's a Megabait. They both dive down deep. You fish them on 275-pound wire, and these are a really hard, durable lure. The fish, you troll them, you want to always sharpen the hooks extra sharp with the file prior to fishing them. But the nice thing about these lures is you can catch many fish with them before they get destroyed. You try to fish a soft lure like a feather or something else, a vinyl lure, and they just chop it in half and then it's done. So these will last a long time, and they also dive deep.
So there's one that's a little more expensive and one that's
Yep.
a little less expensive, but really when you think about how long it's going to last, that's a good investment.
They should last you years and years as long as you inspect your wire leaders on a regular basis before you fish it. Make sure there's no kinks or rust on it, so that it'll break. But if you do that, they should last you, or unless a fellow angler saws you off, which is what you don't want to happen. But if you do everything right, then you should have those for many, many years.
Great. Okay, what's up next?
The next item would be the Raiders, and we have two sizes here, the 125 and then 200. The nice thing about the 125 is it will wear you out a little less, but a lot of times you want to get deeper, so the 200 is actually, I like the 200. It goes deeper, you can reel it fast, and it'll fish a lot of the water column.
So what rig am I going to use as far as a rod and a reel? What am I going to load my reel with?
Minimum 40 pounds. A lot of guys will also fish 50 pound, but if you fish a shorter top shot with braided line, you get less line stretch. So it'll allow this jig to pull through the fish's mouth a lot easier and actually hook the fish. So Wahoo are one of those fish that have really strong mouths. They have really sharp teeth, and they're super fast fish. So a lot of times you'll fish them, if you try to fish them on a regular iron jig, they just grab the lure and they're just holding it, and they're not even hooked. They'll swim right to the boat and then they'll open the mouth and let go.
So that's why they penetrate the Wahoo.
So we're back to rigging the Raiders. We definitely recommend fishing titanium wire, and the advantage to titanium wire is it's really small, low visibility. It doesn't kink like your old style stainless steel wire. It stays straight, so you want to fish it for both bait fishing and for the Raiders. A lot of the guys, believe that if you fish the Raider straight tied to mono, that you get bit better. The risk you take is you're going to lose a lot of jigs.
A lot of money.
A lot of jigs. So putting on a little bit of wire, like the 18 to 20 inches of titanium wire, will help eliminate the loss of your jigs.
But if somebody's coming down here to San Diego on a long-range trip, if they come to Angler's Choice, you've usually got some of these lures on sale. In fact, those Raiders are $9.99 right now. It's a pretty good deal.
And you buy 3, you get 1 free right now.
Great. Check out this website right here if you want to go to Angler's Choice. It's right on the screen.
Okay, and the other thing you can do is when you rig these, you're going to use a single crimp. So you want to run it through like you normally rig, and then you run it through again, and then you're going to run it through 1/3 time back into the crimp again, and then you're going to pull it all tight. So you're going to use your thumb, try not to stab your finger with the tag end of that wire, pull it all tight so you have a nice clean loop. Okay, and then you're going to take your crimper, and because these are fairly small crimps, you're going to need to find a crimper that gets small enough and tight enough to actually crimp down on there. So you squeeze it right in the middle, and you don't want the kind that is a circle, a swager. You want to use the actual crimper that's
right,
just the wire, because we're doing wire here.
So you say 18 inches of wire.
18, yeah, something that easily castable. When you're undoing the titanium from the coil, you never want to cut your zip ties here, because if you do, you'll have a massive piece of titanium.
Been there, done that.
So you cut your wire, and then you're going to do the very same thing at the other end, except this side you're going to put a ring so you can tie your mono onto it. I've actually been fishing very, very short top shots, like 10 feet of mono going straight to braid, and had a very good success rate with a much higher success rate at hooking up the wahoo with that, because there's zero stretch. And so when you're pulling and you hook up that wahoo and you're trying to pull that jig through its mouth, you literally have zero stretch there, and it's going right into, if you never want to point your or bend your rod, you want to point it straight at the fish. That gives you maximum drag. And also you want to fish a very tight drag. So there you go, it's crimped, you have a ring at the end, now you can tie.
Perfect.
And this probably on the 200 pound I would fish 50 pound mono, and what that's going to do, it's going to allow again less stretch and a little more pulling power when you actually want to get that jig into the fish's mouth.
What about the mylar on the hook? Do you think that really helps?
You know, it helps a little bit, but we do a little trick here and we add some additional tape. And it basically is turning your raider into kind of like a bomb. So we sell this mylar tape that's pre-done, and you just cut it right down the middle. And this has a very sticky adhesive on the back. What we do is we tape it right around the bottom end of the jig, right where the bend is here. You can see there's a little crease. And so we're going to stick that on there and stick it all the way around so it overlaps, because that's going to give the best adhesive. And you just kind of want to break up the strands, just rub them between your fingers. And what this does is turn your jig basically kind of into a bomb too. But bombs have a lot of resistance in the water, so they're really tiring on your arm. You're gonna not be able to throw that thing too much. The other thing it does is it kind of hides the hook. So now it gives the lure like a longer impression. So when they bite that, usually they bite their bait in the middle. When they bite that jig, it's thinking that they're biting it in the middle, they're getting more of the hook now. There's a lot better chance of getting hooked up. So we're putting the mylar tape on the back end, and then again we've seen really good results doing that.
And that's a less expensive alternative to a standard wahoo bomb.
Not less expensive, but easier on your arm. Easier so you don't fatigue your arm, because you're usually doing a couple hundred casts. And if you're a serious wahoo angler,
more physically efficient.
Many jigs, many times, making lots of casts, and the faster you can crank, the more success you'll have. And these, you can just crank faster, doesn't wear you out because there's less drag in the water.
Now, will anything else hit this? Dorado or tuna?
Yep, Dorado will hit it, and tuna, but you really don't want to hook a Dorado with this because they jump out of the water and they'll fling the jig at you.
Oh.
And the same with tuna. You really don't want to hook a big tuna with this, but sometimes they bite them. So
great. What else do we need?
The other thing you're going to do is the same wire, except you're going to do a little bit lighter. You're going to go to 40 pound for your bait rigs, and you're going to rig and use the very same rings and the same crimps. The only difference is you're going to add a hook to the end of the wire for your live bait, and that'll allow you not to lose the fish. But you also want to make sure that on the wire, the nice thing about the titanium is it doesn't kink compared to your multi-strand or your old style stainless steel wire. Stainless, once you catch a fish on it and kinks up, then you'd have to use this little wire device here to straighten it out so you could catch more than one fish. This stuff you can fish over and over and over, and usually I've caught as many as 5-6 fish on it before you have to change it out. So that's the advantage of titanium.
Perfect.
Got it in 11
All right.
business.
All right. For Go Fish Magazine, this is John Beath. Check out this web address. Go to Angler's Choice, talk to Luke, and he can get you all set up for either a 5, 6, 7, 10, or 12-day long range trip.